Asahi's growing on me. This could be a problem. Sing, babe.
Nobody wants that. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is everybody's favorite Nuna, Michelle, and I am back with my very, very special guest again, Matthew TRYBA.
Hi.
Woo! Welcome back. So you all know he is my husband, and he is also a music producer. So, introduce yourself.
I'm Matthew TRYBA. I am a music producer. I work in pop and adult contemporary music. Music has been my muse for too long, really. I've been lucky enough to work on a lot of major label records with One Republic, The Fray, Ariana Grande, Adele, Taylor Swift, and I'm excited to dive in and learn more about Treasure today.
Yay. Well, Matthew joined us not too long ago, and we are watching some of the behind-the-scenes Treasure videos that they've put out on their channel. I thought it would be really fun and interesting to get a professional's insight into how they make their music, how they do it. And as we all know, Treasure is a very self-writing and producing group. They have a heavy hand, as many of you mentioned in the comments of the last video, in making a lot of their music all the way back since debut, which is super, super cool to see. So last video, if you haven't seen it, this is episode 2, I guess I would call it. In the first episode that we did with Matthew, we watched the last night behind and then the music video. So if you're interested in hearing Matthew's take on that, go back and watch that one. Thanks so much for all of the super, super kind comments. People loved him. I think we can maybe call you everybody's favorite Oppa, to be perfectly honest. That was sweet. We got some comments and that was really cute. He is older than me, so yes, you are technically my Oppa.
I got the wrinkles to prove it.
Years of experience, right? So thank you so much for coming back. I appreciate it. And hopefully you all enjoy his insights today too, because today we are going to be going off of the Yellow Days series. We're going to do episode 2, Yellow Recording Behind. This one was far and away the most requested video for Matthew to react to next. I saw all of your comments. I read through every single one of them. So thank you for the suggestion. And hopefully you guys will enjoy Matthew's insight on this one as well. He's watching it fresh for the first time. I don't know if you've heard this song. I certainly don't play it as much as last night, so I think this may be a fresh song to his ears as well. So we'll watch the recording behind, and then I have already reacted to the Yellow music video, so we're going to react to the Yellow dance performance video. I find that maybe for Matthew as well, listening to the final product, it'll be less like commotion going on than a music video, so we're going to do the performance video.
Cool. What's the backstory with this song?
Ooh, that's a good question. Okay. So Yellow is the latest title track off their latest mini album. So it's from this year. It's their newest album. People love it. And one of the members, Asahi, who Matt knows a little bit about from watching some Shining Solo episodes with me.
Yeah.
Asahi is one of the main composers and writers. And then Hyunsik, Yoshi, and Haruto, who are the rappers, also contribute to lyrics. I did look up the credits before this, and that's what they said. So that's a bit of the backstory. Yellow, I'm sure Asahi will talk about this a little bit, but they think about that color in the context of like warmth and comfort and love. So that's where like Yellow kind of gets its name.
Okay.
Yeah. And then after we watch the performance video, there is a live video from when Treasure was in the US and they did their SiriusXM performance and interview. So we're going to watch them sing it totally live, which is going to be very exciting.
Cool.
Yeah. So we'll get into that. All right, before we get into the Yellow Days Yellow recording behind, what are a couple good questions for Matthew? Who are some of your favorite artists or people that you've worked with in the studio?
Okay. Well, speaking of the song Yellow, there's another song Yellow by Coldplay from 2003 of the XY album. And I had the pleasure working with Chris Martin in the studio for a couple days, and nicest guy ever. Super tall, taller than you'd think. Obviously,
yeah.
Obviously incredibly talented, but I just felt this sense that he really had this understanding that if you take care of the village of people it takes to create Coldplay, because it takes a lot of people to make Coldplay, on the A&R, on the publishing, on the record label, on the live touring, on the promotion. It's just, there's thousands of people, and he really had a sense of, if he is respectful and treats the people who support him well, that he's going to make great art for the world. And I was like, wow, that was just really cool.
He
really
comes off
that.
like one of the nicest people ever.
Yeah.
I'm really happy to hear that that's how he is in real life,
So-
because he comes off just so incredibly kind.
Yeah, Jin has good taste.
Or does Chris have good taste since Jin's his bias?
Yeah. That, and then I would say Alicia Keys, also very similar. I think there's kind of a common trend among these really established artists that they just know that music is hard for everybody, and it takes a family and takes a ship to get to that destination. And she was also just super talented, but also just inviting and warm and humble and hardworking, and I mean, just a really, really great person to be in the studio
our
with.
queen.
Yeah.
We love to hear behind stories like that. What is one of the songs that you're proudest of, or what's one of your proudest accomplishments since becoming a music producer?
For me, I think there's two moments. There's the moment you hear a song that you've worked on in the grocery store, and you're walking around and be like, wait a second. We were working on this in the studio, and now I'm buying like cereal and I hear the song. That's a really surreal moment.
Yeah. That must be like a crazy, weird, surreal experience. You're like, oh, I've been locked in this box for months making this song, and now it's out in the universe.
Yeah. And it kind of goes along with the first song that I had that I fully produced myself, that was used in a trailer. Hearing that, it's so validating. And us as musicians, I think we crave validation so much, whether we like to admit it or not. And it kind of goes with that grocery store thing of when you realize that something that came out of your head, other people who don't know you, who don't really care about you in a sense, like your grandma's always going to love your music and your mom. But when somebody who doesn't know you and doesn't care about your story is affected by your work, that's really cool. And there's one more. I had this song that I wrote for a YouTube artist, and I remember seeing this 11-year-old girl do a cover on it on YouTube for, hundreds of views, nothing crazy, but it was so cool to be like, here's this young girl who doesn't know me and will never know me, that the words that I wrote with my friend Katie and the melody impacted her life, and that she wants to be brave enough to record a video of her playing guitar and singing it out on YouTube. And I was like, that's really touching.
Was that the song done by that girl that we saw perform at Red Rocks?
Yeah.
I loved that.
It's called-
That was seeing one of his songs being performed at Red Rocks was also very cool for me, and a very proud moment for me as a partner. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Seeing it actually perform live.
It's called Sound and Color by Gabriella B. Check it out. She pulled it off of Spotify because she was also very young when we recorded the song. And so she, came into herself more as a person. So I think she wanted to move away from her childhood songs, but it was a good song.
I loved it.
It's on YouTube still.
Check it out. I'll link it below too. Thanks so much for those behind the scenes. It's so awesome to get to know more about your music. So check out some of Matthew's work. I'll link everything down below, including all of his socials, his website, YouTube, all that good stuff. But without further ado, let's get into it. Yellow Days, Episode 2, Yellow Recording Behind.
Ooh, I like this studio.
This is Asahi's studio.
Okay, better vibes. You can
Different.
see, yeah,
Very
different.
different.
I like that it has warm vibes with the wallpaper. It looks a lot more comfortable to be in, and the last studio we looked at was more commercial and kind of sterile. And I
imagine the last studio too was more of just like where they go in to record and work with the other producers and stuff like that. Whereas this is a personal studio of Asahi's in the YG building. thank you to the comments. A couple of you told me that 5 out of 10 of the Treasure members have their own private studios in the YG building.
Cool.
So that's really cool. They can like make it their own. Do you notice a little theme going on anywhere?
I don't know. It just looks very warm. He's got.
You see a little bit of yellow in there, maybe.
Oh, sure. I don't know. He's got some cozy taste. He's got you can see up in the top right. There's a Les Paul electric guitar, probably a newer one. Looks like it. And he's got a Nord keyboard in the back. That's that yellow, or that's the red one. So my guess is that Asahi actually plays piano because that's a piano for piano players.
And he sure does.
Oh, am I right? Okay. That is like the de facto touring keyboard for piano players because it's reliable. It's got basic sounds. You don't have to menu dive. You can just hit the little buttons and boom, go. And then above that, he's got a Moog synth that he probably uses for basses. So, and then I think that's a Martin acoustic guitar, or maybe a Taylor on the left, which I have. Oh, she's not out right now. So yeah, good taste, Asahi. We're in the same realm. Also, he's got a Rolling Stone magazine with Steve Jobs ? On it.
Oh yeah, that's funny.
I mean, it is Steve Jobs, but like, I guess that's a comment on the music industry that it's getting so enveloped by tech.
We'll have to look into Rolling Stone for that one. There's our guy.
안녕하세요. 뭔가 쓰고 싶은 노래 분위기 머리에 있어서 새로운 노래를.
Okay, he has Genelec speakers. Those ones are kind of cool because they shoot sound from the middle, so it's like kind of more accurate. That's we paused. Funny.
We always pause on Asahi in weird times. Sorry.
I think his studio is honestly it's about the same size as this studio that we're in now, which kind of goes to show like what's the good size for a writing room. That's what I consider this to be, a writing room. I mean, it is a studio. We record final vocals here and final acoustic guitar, and I'm sure they can do final vocals in his studio. But you don't need a huge space. You just need good ideas.
만들어 보겠습니다.
Okay. Yeah, so you can tell he plays keyboard. That was a weighted keyboard controller, which those are kind of hard to find. So it feels like a real piano. And so typically somebody who is a real pianist will want something like that.
And fun fact, we're also looking at our screen, and there's also a keyboard that we can pull out right here. Maybe one day we'll do a tour of your studio.
Yeah, we'll do a tour. Mine is like the spring-loaded keyboard. It's not the weighted one because it just don't have the space. But it works for me.
오늘 소리가 하는데 사랑의 따뜻함.
So that wall back there, if we want to nerd out a little bit, I will bet you anything, because look at the spacing. It's a diffracting wall, and then the gray is going to be like a burlap, and then there's going to be space behind the wall for acoustic treatment to absorb the sound. It's a clever way to make the studio sound good and also look good.
처음에 설렘 이런 거를 담고 싶어서 뭔가 나왔는데 작업실에 은근 옐로우가 많거든요.
Okay, I guess he's into the Beatles.
노란색을 보면 뭔가 좀 따뜻해지고 기쁘고 행복하고 그런 이미지가 있어서 (1차) 녹음을 해보겠습니다. 너를 만나 시작됐어 나의 사랑의
Oh, I've heard this song.
오늘 또 노래가 완성이 될 것 같아가지고.
You'll see how he had, and just a couple seconds back, he had his mic right next to him to record. A lot of producer singers have that. That's actually the mic I have right now. It's usually a little further forward, and it's right by my face. You just want it to be as easy as possible to just lay down a guide vocal, an idea, and when you're producing, you don't want to be like stand up, record, sit down. It's just having it right here. Asahi's growing on me. This could be a problem.
뒷부분만 들려드릴게요.
Okay, he uses Logic.
Naruto jump on.
Okay. Did Asahi write the melody too?
Yes.
Do you know? Okay.
He did. He's
Solid.
the composer of the song.
Solid. He's got a Korn shirt on. That was the third album I bought, was a Korn album in like 1998.
Amazing.
It's hard rock.
You're aging us.
이런 느낌. 이슬라 막 이런 거 하면서 슬라이트가 노란색으로 바뀌면서 딱 그런 그림까지 보이긴 하거든요. 저는.
Okay, back in the big studio.
B flat 메이저에다가.
안녕하세요. 녹음하기 전에 비행기 녹음.
What's he doing? That's
knows?
That's his version of warming up.
Yep.
이런 감정 다시 했습니다. 이런 감정 익숙하지 다시 했습니다.
숨이 살짝 그건가?
지금 약간 심장이 너무 뛰어가지고 두근두근거려.
We were just joking that like it takes me 10 minutes to warm up, and so we had to talk for 10 minutes. I think just performing creatively, you have to just take time to warm up. So you just expect those first takes to sometimes just be like about getting the cobwebs out.
그래가지고
괜찮냐?
한번 해보겠습니다.
Asahi's so sweet.
가만있습니다. 이런 감정 익숙하지 않아 서툴렀던 날.
이런 감정 여기를 약간 좀 계단 약간 올라가는 느낌. 땡땡땡땡땡. 역시 그리고 이게서 호흡으로 밀어주는 느낌.
오케이.
So you can see Asahi's doing a good job of being calm and giving feedback, constructive feedback. And we're probably on similar wavelengths. It's just like you can't you got to really read the artist when you're vocal producing them, which I assume he's doing now.
Yes.
He's pushing the talkback mic to communicate with them. And they really will mirror your energy. So if you get stressed out and like flustered, they're going to get stressed out and flustered, and you're just going to tank the whole session. So thumbs up. He's doing a good job of like keeping it chill. Like, we're going to get there. Let's just keep pushing along.
Yeah, I've heard you say many times that a big part of production is bringing that vibe to the room as well. Like making people comfortable, bringing up the tension, like the good tension, like bringing it up when it needs to be, you know, you need to make like more emphasis on something, but just like creating that environment and vibe.
Yeah, they got to be comfortable first, and then you can start to go for energy. Some people are like really good at bringing the party. That's not really my personality. Sometimes I need those people in the room. But comfort above all, because if they don't trust you, you're not gonna be able to get them to the place that they need and can get to. Nerd moment in the middle, you can see that blue thing with the black knobs. That's a TubeTech CL1B compressor. They're made out of Denmark. And then below that is a Neve Designs mic preamp. So that Neve Designs is the microphone plugs into the Neve Designs, and then it goes into the TubeTech. And that's like the de facto pop vocal chain. So that blue piece of gear is like an automatic volume controller. It's a compressor. So when they sing louder, it kind of helps lower the level so that it doesn't get too loud inside of the computer. And then it also does an opposite effect of it makes your vocals sound stronger. And that's something we hear on all pop vocals. And that particular compressor is like really high quality, really awesome. I use it all the time. That was the main one we used for One Republic.
Cool. It's fun. It's amazing to see that, like, no matter where you are in the world, a lot of times you're, like, using the same gear and the same stuff, and it's just, that kind of connects everyone a bit.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of like using the same paintbrushes, and these are just good paintbrushes. Now let's see what you can do as an artist.
Oh, cool.
이런 감정 익숙하지 않아 서툴렀던 날.
이런 식으로 몇 번 계속 받아볼게.
오케이. 이런 감정 익숙하지 않아 서툴렀던 날.
His pitch is really good, so I can tell that he's spent time really practicing the part, because the way that melody is climbing it would be easy to kind of mush together the notes. And he's hitting them distinctly, and he's hitting every one distinctly. A lot of singers, they focus on like, oh, here's this hard note. And so they focus so hard on hitting the hard note that they forget all the other notes. So I'll tell people like, every note is hard. Is that you can't forget the little guys, because when you hit all of those with intention, then it elevates the performance so much higher.
Good job, Jaehyuk.
그런 식으로 계속 하면 될 것 같아요.
좋은 것 같아. 좀 좋았어.
수고하셨습니다.
편하게.
Okay, we just got a little
뛰면서
snippet.
할게요.
해가 지나 좀 이대로 너와 사랑을 계속 너의 미소는 yellow yellow yellow.
It's Jungwon, their youngest member.
Oh, okay. Was that the Kiki sign?
Rainbow 중에 yellow 너와 사랑을 계속 It's love.
Okay, so notice they said there's the first round of recording reaches completion. That's something I do a lot, is that we talk with artists of when we lay down a vocal, it helps add to the comfort. Don't feel like this is going to be it. What we're going to do is we're just kind of fishing for our first draft, and then we're going to go back and find every single little word and phrase that's not really impacting the listener, and we're going to punch all of those. And that can help set the artist at ease, because if you're in there thinking like, oh, I gotta get it perfect right now, you're gonna clinch up and it's not gonna happen. So if you kind of massage that out and say, we're gonna get this done over time, it works a lot better.
Nice. And I think that's something that's going on right now. It looks like Jungwon is coming back.
Okay.
Let's see what for.
Jungwon is back.
너무 멀었어.
Okay, he probably has his own revisions.
왜 의도하는 바가 뭐야?
진짜 좋고 싶은데 진짜 한 3번만? 너 하고 싶으면 뭐몇 번이든 해도 된다.
You can tell when he talks, he gets more in his nose in like a really good way.
Who?
Jungwon.
Jungwon.
Yeah, I think like people who have interesting voices, you can hear the mask. You can hear like the part of their face that makes them look distinct can also make them sound distinct and make them stick out.
그날부터 지금까지 마저 못했었던 말 이건
That's good, because this song where it's sitting in the range is kind of right around the break that males have, right around a D, D sharp, E. And so he's hovering around that. My guess is he went away and worked on like moving around that break, because that can be really hard to do.
너한테만 하는 얘기
Look at all the liquids.
All the water.
Yeah.
So Do Young's here to record.
이런 감정 익숙하지 않아서 둘렀던 나 그 어떤 미래도 저 멀리 있는 미래에도
오케이.
I can tell this song compared to Last Night is much more comfortable range-wise
For Do Young?
for all of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Last Night famously was very high.
Yeah, it's probably too high. I saw he was like, why did I do this? This is in a more comfortable range where they're singing more as if they were talking a little bit more effortlessly. So you get a little bit more of the nuance of that relaxed vocal, which is nice.
고생했어잉.
고마워잉 이런 설렘 익숙하지 않아서 두르지 마
We're in Studio B now. The money note.
이런 설렘 익숙하지 않아서 두르지만 내가 옆에 있어줄 수 있기
뛰는 느낌.
원래 형이가 다 이어서 부르는데 지금 굉장히 신경 써서 끊고 부르긴 하는데 좀 더 리듬을 살릴게.
액센트 좀 과하게
Yeah,
한번 해봐도 될 것 같아요.
좀 더 과하게.
이런 설렘 익숙하지 않아서 두르지만
I wonder if he has the same problem I have, because he's touching his face here. I was taking a vocal lesson. I realized that my vocal coach told me that I had a tendency to raise my eyebrows sometimes when I'm approaching a difficult note, and that affects the muscles in your neck. And so it's possible that he has had something like that in the past too, and so he's putting his hand here as a reminder, probably to keep his forehead relaxed so that he hits the notes effortlessly.
I have to do that too sometimes. I spend a lot of time like this.
Yeah.
이거보다는 좀 더 빼야 되는 거잖아. 그 말이.
이런 설렘 익숙하지 않아서 두르지 마.
이게 훨씬 좋아요.
말이.
It's love. 이 떼창 파트 있거든요. 형 목소리 또 뭐 있어요?
목소리?
They probably spent so much time layering and punching that love, because you can't cheat on those vowels. You can't cut the vocals, and to get everybody in time with the rhythm, it can take some work. So either they all had to really, really practice to get that rhythm right so they can be locked in and it sounds like a tight group, or you just got to record a lot of takes.
Yeah.
참 약간 다 힘이 없어 보이죠. It's love 막 이런 것도 넣고 하면.
Yes,
귀찮을 것 같아. 그런 거 많이 넣으면은.
형 뭐 되는 거 있으면은 다른 것도 받아놓고 하긴 하는데.
원장 되고 여성 되고 어린아이 되고 주문 넣어주면 바로 해.
That makes it sound like more of a group. When you can change your voice, it sounds like there's more singers singing together, kind of like a gang. A gang vocal is what we call it. Like there's a whole like group of friends or small choir singing that part, and if you can change your voice, they're not doing it here, but a trick that really helps to achieve that sound is to put multiple people in the room all singing together on the same mic.
They may do that. We'll see.
We'll see.
약간 신나는 느낌?
It's love.
이 정도? 오케이.
그런 것도 좋아.
오케이.
It's love. It's love.
Excited, Asahi.
형 하얘 진성은 안 되잖아요.
It's love.
되지고. 우와. 오.
가자.
It's love.
이게 왜 돼?
That's pretty good.
It's love.
He's doing a good job of actually not pushing too hard. He's making it sound like he's singing with a lot of energy, but he's not actually yelling. So that's telling of somebody who's trained well.
우와.
It's love.
진짜 인정.
이게 되네.
인정? 사이 노래니까 또 열심히 했지.
That's funny. He said high falsetto. That was not high falsetto. That was his.
There's a full voice.
That was
I
full
did notice
voice.
that,
Yeah. There's actually a lot of confusion for males of what is falsetto, and we had a vocal coach come in for One Republic for Ryan Tedder, because even the best get vocal coaching. Shout out to all singers like.
Oh yes, there were some comments saying that even now, post debut, they're still doing loads of training in vocals, dance, language, everything. So it's not just the pre-debut stuff, but like as they go in and along through their career, they're also continuing to take a lot of those lessons. So thank you for those comments too.
LeBron James has a coach. Ariana Grande has a vocal coach. Like you need coaching to be the best.
Main vocalist.
It's love.
Oh, low to high. High to low.
It's love. It's love. 내 곁에 머물러 있어줘 너라는 색으로.
이제 그 완급 조절 도영이가 더 이렇게 끝냈잖아.
Guy's just doodling.
도영이 형은 이렇게 이제 약하게 했는데 제가 여기서 이제 약하게 들어갔다가 세게 해도 해야 되는 거잖아요.
그거예요. 그거야.
그러니까 이게
너만 할 수 있는 거야.
몇 개 해볼게요.
내 곁에 머물러 있어줘 너라는 색으로.
좋다 좋다.
너의 미소를 처음 본 그날에 마음이 물드는 게 느껴졌어. 너를 만나 시작됐어 나의 사랑의 계절. 우리 사랑은 계속해서 yellow.
이거다. 이거 너야.
나왔어.
Cool.
Yoshi.
I bet it's so late.
운동을 다시 시작해가지고 몸 전체 아리게 됐어요.
The rapper's time.
Yeah.
Time to shine.
너덜너덜하고
It's Hyunsuk.
전신을 해서 지금 다리가 너덜너덜하고.
Now he has to stand.
They work so well.
4:11. Do you think that's AM or PM? Hopefully PM.
Who knows?
오케이.
They could get him a stool to sit on.
현석이와
Here we go. They're gonna do what I mentioned earlier. They're gonna record gang vocals, and on the microphone, there's a box that it plugs into that powers it, and there's a knob on it that you can change. So now it's gonna pick up in a circle. So it's gonna pick up everybody around them. Where before it was only picking up like a little heart shaped, or some call it a butt shape in front of them. So it only picks up front. Now it's gonna pick up the whole room, and they're gonna do gangs.
Yellow.
현석이와 아이들.
내 맘에 당한 색칠 첫눈에 반했다고 you know what it is.
They said adding a doubling. A lot of times what you'll do, especially with choruses, is you'll sing the part down as a lead vocal, and then you'll add one either left and right, so 2 more parts, sometimes 4 more parts of the same exact vocal as a layer, and that thickens it up and kind of gives it a little kind of choral effect to make it sound bigger.
Cool.
내 맘에 당한 색칠
Yeah.
첫눈에 반했다고
You know what it is?
Black, yellow.
한 2개 하나 더.
3개 더 하세요.
첫눈에 반했다고
You know what it is?
Black,
He said 3 more, but they're just gonna layer them.
You know what it is?
yellow.
하는 거였어?
So it sounds like it's like every time they layer a track, it's like 3 more people singing.
들어봐도 될까요?
Okay, 내 맘에 당한 색칠 첫눈에 반했다고 you know what it is. Black,
Yeah,
yellow.
that sounds good.
만족입니다, 형.
사랑을 알게 된 건데 니도 손에게 지쳐
Break don't stop 너에게로 직진.
뒤쪽에 줘? 아니면
Now we're
처음부터
in a new
줘?
studio. We're actually a new studio.
That's YG.
Okay,
He owns this whole operation.
nice.
So this is the guy. He was an artist back in the day, and he does still produce. He actively will produce on songs, which is cool. And he like gives a lot of his input. I've watched some of the other behinds where sometimes maybe some of the producers or writers get a little stuck and they'll send it to him and he'll give his input or like add his take on it.
Okay.
And sometimes they take it, sometimes they don't, but he is still very active with them, which is cool. I love to see it.
해주셔도 됩니다. 오케이.
사랑을 알게 된 건 뭐
Look at their chair and look at our chair. You can't see it. Same chair. It's the de facto studio chair because you sit in it for so long and it's comfortable. Herman Miller, Aaron chair.
니도 넌 내게 기적
리더가 생겼으면 좋겠어. 리더기 포인트라
네
모든 리더 하고 그
사랑을 알게 된 건 모든 니도
그렇죠. 모든 리더.
사랑을 알게 된 건 모든 니도 넌 내게 기적
난 이런 플로가 좋아. 이런 바운스 훨씬 좋아.
네 저도 좋은 것 같아요
루트에 나와야 돼. 들어가. 수고했어.
고맙습니다
Why'd they blur his face earlier?
Oh, it was just right past it.
Oh.
처음에는 수록곡이었거든요. 이렇게 타이틀곡으로 확정이 돼서 좀 부담도 사실
Oh wow.
있었는데
Yeah. First single, that's pressure.
근데 멤버들이 녹음을 잘해줘가지고
옐로짱.
트레저가 가지고 있는 에너지, 사랑, 행복 이런 요소들이 잘 들어간 노래이지 않나.
I mean, notice they took 2 days to record the vocals. At least it takes that long to really get it all done right.
Yay! The color of my heart is yellow.
Cool. They did a great job.
Yay! Yeah. What do we think?
Yeah, I think they had a song that really brought out their voices in a comfortable range, and I could tell that they all practiced and were ready to go, and I think they all did a really solid job. I'm impressed.
How's Asahi's vocal directing?
I think great. As I was mentioning earlier, like he had a good way of not bringing nervous energy, that he helped artists feel comfortable, even though he may have been feeling nervous on the inside of like, oh, this is the song I made and it's going to be first single, the title track of the album, and like there's pressure there, and you know YG's coming in. But you gotta
Big
like,
boss.
yeah, you gotta keep it cool and get the artist to give you what you need.
So we are going to watch the Yellow dance performance video. Like I said, if you want to see my reaction, it was actually my very first reaction video I ever did was for Last Night in Yellow, so you can go back and watch that. But we're going to watch the dance performance video. I know that they don't have live vocals in this, but Matthew will at least be able to see the final version all together. And I love choreo. You all know I love choreo, so I'm excited to watch them dance.
Cool.
너의 미소를 처음 본 그날에 마음이 물드는 게 느껴졌어 따뜻하게 날 불러주는 그 네 목소리에 하늘이 맑아진 게 느껴졌어 이런 감정 익숙하지 않아 서툴렀던 날 네가 옆에 웃고 있어줬지 이런 설렘 익숙하지 않아 서투르지만 내가 옆에 있어줄 수 있기 너를 만나 시작됐어
Oh, that's a good fake out.
사랑의 계절 내 맘 색깔은 yellow 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 해가 지나 또 이대로 너와 사랑을 계속 너의 미소는 yellow yellow yellow
Okay 내 맘에 물든 색칠 첫눈에 반했다고 you know what it is Black, yellow, black, black, yellow 까만 동시야는 노랗게 바뀐 채로 What?
언제부턴가 널 만나고서야 메마른 맘들 꽃처럼 피어났어 난 사랑을 알게 된 건 뭐든 이덕 넌 내게 기적 같은 change up Rainbow 중에 yellow의 color 어둠이 내리고
They've had like 4 different drum kits. It's so much to do in the track. There's just so much work to accumulate all those sounds or curate all those sounds for those different drums. And the groove's really good. I like it.
Yeah, and I love when the 3 rappers go back to back to back because I think they all sound really different and they all bring something different to the table. So I love this section.
눈과 비가 내려도 break don't stop 너에게로 직진 Everything alright 우리 둘의 행진 익숙하지 않아 서툴렀던 날 네가 옆에 웃고 있어줬지
Another one of my bias records.
그날부터 지금까지 미처 못했었던 말 이건 너한테만 하는 얘기 너를 만나
What's nice about this song, it's kind of similar to Apata with Bruno Mars and Rosé, is that they're using a lot of organic sounds or close to organic sounds. Like they don't have that typical like trap hi-hats as tick, 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 tick. And it's not using a lot of 808s, it's using more like real bass. You can hear a real guitar. It's a Stratocaster guitar. That's that guitar back there. And that is a good strategy to make something that will last longer because it's not as stamped in time. If you have something that's too synthy, that sounds like if Zed make it, like Zed's great, but it sounds like you can really hear the year at which he made a song. And this will probably last a good, 5 to 10 years because they kept
Hopefully
it more
longer.
Real. Yeah, at least.
If we have anything to say about
Yeah.
it. Treasure makers.
시작됐어 나의 사랑의 계절 내 맘 색깔은 yellow 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 해가 지나도 이대로 너와 사랑을 계속 너의 미소는 yellow 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 색이 다 바랬던 이 세상 속에서
wonder if I saw you play piano.
찾은 빛그 어떤 미래도 저 멀리 있는 미래도 내 곁에 머물러 있어줘 너라는 세계로
There's the gang vocal where they're all doing all those billions of layers. That's fun.
It's just so fun in concert.
Nice.
Woo!
And fade to yellow.
Yay! Good job, guys. Good job, Asahi. So there's the finished product.
Cool.
You can hear it all kind of come together.
Yeah, a lot of good piano playing, good drums. So many change ups in K-pop. So much work on those tracks. Mm-hmm. But
yeah,
maybe
lots
a
of
good job.
dynamics. So I was actually able to find a live performance recording of Yellow from, like I said, when Treasure was in the States, when I went to go see their concerts. They did this recording in LA for SiriusXM radio. So we're going to listen to them sing it live. I bet there's like a little bit of backtrack and stuff like that, especially with the harmonies and stuff, but it's them singing live. So I'm really excited for you to hear that. So we're going to go ahead and play it. This was recorded on May 8th, 2025 at SiriusXM.
That's fresh. So he's tweaking a knob. Sorry, jumping in super quick. The little Avium boxes they have in front of them, their headphones are plugged into that, and they each have one, and they can push buttons and turn knobs, and they can make their own in-ear mix. So they use them in studios a lot, so that they can do what they need, especially because, I don't know, how many people we have? 10 people?
10 people.
Yeah.
10 members.
to get everybody's headphone mix right, like talking to one guy on the side is going to take forever. And so they can just bloop, 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 tweak it how they want, and they're good to go. And then the microphone they're using is the Shure SM58. It is probably the most iconic live vocal microphone. And famously, Bono from U2 uses that microphone to record all of the U2 vocals on.
Wow.
Maybe not all, but like that's like
Sure.
the standard Bono, and he'll use that mic with the speakers, no headphones.
Whoa,
in the control
that's
room.
interesting.
Yeah.
Very cool. Huh.
It's $100.
Wow.
Yeah, it's cheap, but it works.
There you go.
He can't hear himself. Something's broken.
Live music, everyone.
Yeah. They sound good.
Check it out. 너를 만나 시작됐어 나의 사랑의 계절 내 맘 색깔은 yellow 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 해가 지나 또 이대로 너와 사랑을 계속 너의 미소는 yellow yellow yellow
Okay 내 맘에 몰던 색칠 첫눈에 반했다고 you know what it is Black, yellow, black, black, yellow 까매 동시에는 노랗게
I like their outfits.
어제부터 널 만나고서 내 많은 맘들 것처럼 피어났어 난 사랑을 알게 된 건 뭐든지도 넌 내게 기적 같은 change up
Rainbow 중에 yellow 네 컬러 어둠이 내리고 눈과 비가 내려도 break don't stop 너에게로 직진 Everything alright 우리 둘의 행연 익숙하지 않아 서툴렀던 날 네가 옆에 웃고 있어줬지
I think we're hearing about half backing track, half their live vocals. But they're doing a good job of staying in tune with their live vocals. And you can tell, like, when he was a little close on the microphone, you could hear, like, when he went with the P sound, you could hear it into the mic. So that's how you know we're actually hearing what they're singing.
Mm-hmm. And listen out, they do all of their, like, ad-libs live, too. That was actually, when I was editing my vlogs, something I had the most fun with was hearing the ad-libs live and then, like, finding, like, Hyunsuk or Haruto or someone in the background, like, doing the ad-libs. They're so good at that element of live performance. It's really cool. Yeah, you'll see as we get farther into
Ad-libs
the
are
song.
hard.
그날부터 지금까지 미쳐 못했었던 말 이건 너한테만 하는 얘기 너를 만나 시작됐어 나의 사랑의 계절 내 맘 색깔은 yellow 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 해가 지나 또 이대로 너와 사랑을 계속 너의 미소는 yellow 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 색이 다 바랬던 이 세상 속에서 유일하게 찾은 빛 그 어떤 미래도 저 멀리 있는 미래도 내 곁에 머물러 있어줘 너라는 색으로
Sing along everyone It's love. It's love.
Sing, babe.
Nobody wants that.
나의 사랑의 계절 내 맘 색깔은 yellow 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 해가 지나 또 이대로 너와 사랑을 계속
Had a thought. The way that they pronounce yellow works really well for this song, and I don't think English writers would have written it that way because it said yellow, yellow, yellow. When we put the accent on yellow,
Yeah.
so we would have said yellow, 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 and
But this way so much more like pleasing.
yeah, it fits the melody well, and like a native English writer may have not gotten there.
Very interesting.
너의 미소는 yellow 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 우리 사랑은 계속 계속 yellow
Cool. What I can tell about Treasure is that I think they're still growing. They're still on the up and up.
They debuted 5 years ago.
Okay, but like they seem to still have a hunger
Yeah.
to them in a really good way. A lot of groups and bands, as they get more successful, can get complacent and stop working hard. And at least what I saw in this video, I felt like they still worked hard.
Absolutely.
So that's good.
Yeah.
That's going to help them grow. When you stop working hard, you start backsliding.
The boys work super hard. And that's one thing I really love and appreciate and admire about K-pop is I think that many, many, many groups never stop working hard. They're always training. They're always in lessons. They work their butts off while they're on crazy tours and crazy schedules and stuff like that. And they all have like this humbleness to them, which is really cool. So that's one thing I admire about like K-pop groups and the K-pop industry as a whole. They seem to take their jobs like very seriously. They do think of them in a lot of ways as jobs, and they have to work really, really hard. A lot of them don't get a lot of vacations or days off or anything like that. So they're very hardworking. I love that you can see that in Treasure because they definitely work very hard.
Well, it's good. I mean, that's one thing that I think K-pop has done well as an industry is that they treat it like becoming a professional athlete, and they give them the support and structure and training to do that. I wish we saw more of that structure and support and discipline in Western artists that K-pop is really nailed down so well.
Awesome. So what'd you think of Yellow overall?
It's good. It's great. Vocals felt good. I like the groove of the song. It felt fun. I like that it has the gang. It invites the audience to participate, so I can imagine that's fun live.
So much fun. Oh my gosh. I loved hearing that song live in concert. It was amazing. Yeah. I definitely have a lot of that song in my vlogs. If you go back and watch those, and you can really get the vibe of how it was live. But the people have asked. We have delivered. Matthew is back. We'll have him back for more. There were a lot more great suggestions, but please let me know what else you would like to see him react to. And I've already decided, YG family here, we're going to do a little bit of Baby Monster with him as well.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
So stay tuned for that. Thanks for joining Treasure Tuesday. Thanks for having Matthew back. I'm going to link all of his socials and website down in the description below. But thanks for joining. And as always, we'll see you next time.
Bye.